It's a very special one.
Love you, darling.
Love you, darling.
What a lovely cake your mum has made me. She's so clever.
And she's going to keep some for me.
Yeah, they're going to have it for breakfast.
Good. And Jossie, will you say something to Father, please, so I can have in the future?
Absolutely. Lovely. You sit over there and I sit over there.
Well, it's rather easy to make the cake, you know. It looks difficult. I went to Rosanne and
What?
do you know Rosanne?
Yeah.
And this is not this icing, this is sugar.
They asked me if I had.
Well, it comes in white and you colour it more. Just a different colour.
Hey.
You just roll it up. There's a... Yes.
I left the bathroom door open.
Are all the works going on?
I see. And I have to turn me back here. I'm in a very dangerous position.
Stop it. So can Sarah walk like a model?
I'm
Teach
not.
Sarah to walk like a model like Sophie did. What? Yeah.
Well, it's 8 o'clock now, it's sun. The guests are entitled to
Come
come.
on then. What time did you get here?
I wasn't betting on the first guest. You may say what's you bothered.
Don't take your dolls then. Dolls in. Mummy enjoys it. Oh, okay.
I like your hair better.
Come on, look at the bedside.
What did you but no, I don't think it went.
We got REC.
Yeah, it's off.
Alright, good night, Sarah.
Sarah,
Good
you're
night, darling.
not allowed to go to bed. You're not allowed.
I may
You
go
must
to
not
bed.
go to bed. You
You're
must
not
not.
allowed to go to bed either, Henry.
I may go to bed.
Think you should, Stanley.
That's the rest.
No? Gucci.
Poor David, someone wants to be in bed with time, his daughter had his light on, showed them the room. Mercy.
Hello? Hi.
Slowly.
Naturally.
Now, no panning, Joe.
Oh,
Thing.
you got two more, darling. I know. Hello?
She's getting you, she comes through the door. She's getting you, she comes through the door.
Videos.
No, don't bother to act. Where shall I?
Check out my camera. Camera away.
Julia, stop it now, stop it, Julia.
Five credits got to be asked. One.
And you have just two decorations.
You've got to cross. Thank you. I see the boy
Can't taste the price. Too much problem. Yeah. I'm going to have to build Never heard of building Saturday service. Saturday the central heating broke. Saturday the central heating broke. When it was 7 years old.
Well, you would like
A decent video, can you do that?
I like that.
What's a rabbi? Rabbi of the community is teacher, leader of the community. He's not there for any other
Lives taken up together in a big way.
But I was captain of the General Squad for 15 years.
She'd be like, she's still smiling.
What it is, you put in it and
Josh is getting much rougher. You're the little one.
That's right.
I just might see her raise her chin. Nothing camera, it's a video. Yes, it's carrying on.
I have lost faith in
Very nice photo. Who are you dealing with? Yossi is somebody very good. Yossi is an Israeli company, have a buying office in Turkey.
Toast to Mum and Dad tonight. But before I do so,
I've got a chair.
When Jenny Cohen, as she then was,
I think it's a nice name to live.
married Henry Lewis, as he still is.
Henry Lewis. Henry, what's your name? Henry, what's your name? Henry Nathan.
They were married in Brooklyn, and although I wasn't there at the time, thanks goodness,
That's your story.
I don't think anybody who was there, and there were a few people in the room who of course were there here at the time, I don't think anybody could have imagined where they would have ended up 35 years later.
What, in Rowland Cheshire?
Now, as you know, Dad's been taking it easy recently since he retired, pursuing one or two interests in the city and getting a bit of knowledge about company accounts. I think if you were to look at the balance sheet of his own family, it wouldn't look too bad. He's got 3 children, 1 daughter-in-law, 1 son-in-law, and 5 grandchildren. And I think some of his financial journalist friend might say that was not a bad interim statement, but maybe there was room for growth. And for that, we'll look to Julia, I think.
No hurry.
You've got 5 bedrooms.
Now,
Give us a break.
speaking, I think, particularly for Deborah and Howard and Veronica and myself, we've already realised that bringing up kids is not an easy job. And I think we all admire the way Mum and Dad have brought us up and kept us together as a family, which is really great. Having said how much we admire them as parents, I think I should mention a word about what they're like as grandparents. Because here I've got a little bit of criticism. They're wonderful with the kids and shower them with presents and are happy to look after them when the kids are behaving themselves. At the first sign of trouble, it's back to the parents. And should we even dare to tell the kids off or something like that, then we're already reprimanded for being too strict or for not letting them enjoy themselves. I've got to say, it's not an attitude I can remember when I was a kid. Now, I've got to just say a word about my mum. I think that she's a tremendous support to Dad through all the years. They're married. Wish, on behalf of all of us, many more happy anniversaries, Mum and Dad.
Thank you.
I hope I'm
An outlaw.
I hope I'm a member of the family. I'm an outlaw.
You're an outlaw.
I can speak for you lot, I can speak for this table, and say that I think Jenny and Henry are the sort of people that, on an occasion like this, deserve a tribute, because they are, I don't know, I'll try and put this without being over emotional. They are, quite simply, I think probably on behalf of everybody here, the best people around, both in terms of their friends and their families. And I know that to me, as somebody who's known them for about, I've known them for 8 years, they've treated me superbly and have made me feel, and have treated me as they treat their children. How do they treat their children? And for that, I can't thank them enough. And I think, I just want to say that they are simply, probably, without a doubt, best people around.
A quick little response. Those of you who listened to Capital Radio this morning, the two of us, me and Julia, somebody said, that's right, somebody said, a wife is with you as long as you're married, and an ex-wife is with you as long as you live.
So it's better to
it's been an extraordinary, quick 35 years. It's incredible to even think about it. As Jonathan said, they're all there. 5 children, 3 children, 2 in-laws, 5 grandchildren. It's a pity they're not here. You know, how do you keep going for 35 years? Well, I think one should take guidance from the great thinkers and the great philosophers. I have 2 who guide me a lot. The first is Charlie Chaplin, who you met. who said, a long journey. I'm prepared. This Charlie Chaplin said, a long journey starts with 1 step. Very deep. And the other one.
Number 17 sons you.
The other great philosophical thinker is Schnozzle Durant. His saying that I always remember is, if you can't raise the bridge, lower the water. Yes, he did. And I think that these... Anyway, enough of that. I'm very appreciative of the words of Jonathan and Howard. And I suppose the greatest thing that Jenny and I have is the happiness and satisfaction that we get from this very close family and having all these friends and family here tonight. It's interesting, the group of friends here tonight is, we've got a pretty wide circle, but everybody here tonight, the children look on them as their friends as well as our friends. So it's an interesting spread, and that's why it's such a spread of eggs. You see, people like Peter and Michael could have been page boys at times.
Don't take it too far,
Grateful to you all for joining us. We're happy that we are together, that we're such a happy family, and that we all get on, at least when you're all around. No, we do. Great. And thank you very much for all those kind words.
Henry and Jenny are an example of the most wonderful relationship that a man and a woman could have, and a husband and a wife.
Any jokes, I said, Henry.
He's being funny, Jenny, he's being funny. Jenny, it gets worse, don't worry.
I'm trying to lead into it, Jenny. Give me a chance. But I think we all realise that the sort of relationship they have is not necessarily the relationships that exist between people. And therefore perhaps I can tell you about the situation between a husband and a wife who had been married for some time, but their relationship wasn't quite what it should be, and the husband, as happens in these cases, is trying to make things up to his wife. He says, darling, I'll tell you what I'll do for you. I'll buy you diamond earrings with a necklace and everything to go with it. No! All right, I'll tell you what. A fur coat. No! A cruise on the Huey. No! It's all right. So what do you want? She says, you're asking me, I'll tell you what I want. A divorce. That's what I want. I've got to tell you the truth. I wasn't thinking about spending that sort of Henry and Jenny are very, very fortunate indeed in their family, which is something which Jonathan referred to, and which Howard referred to, and again, that's not always the case. And there's to illustrate that, there's a story of a Jewish man who unfortunately separated from his wife, his son was on drugs, and his daughter had just married a Schwarzer. And he was sitting there in the kitchen, never everyday story, and he was hoping that maybe his mazel was about to change. And he was looking for a sign, for a simon, that maybe the mazel was about to change. And he was buttering there a little bit of blackened toast, and it fell on the floor, and he looked. And the butter was the butter side up. Oi! He says, this is what I've been waiting for. The mazel's going to change. He says, I must go to the rabbi immediately and find out whether this is the sign. So he goes to the rabbi and explains to the rabbi what's happened, that he's separated from his wife and the trouble he's having with the daughter and the son. So he says, Rabbi, I want you should tell me, is this now the sign I've been waiting for? It's a very difficult thing. He says, I must go to the bed then. He says, I'll make some inquiries. You'll come back 2 or 3 days later and I'll give you an answer. So 2 or 3 days he comes back and I says, well, he says, I'll tell you. We've been looking at it from the left and from the right. From the top and from the bottom. He says, and the decision is that it's not so much that your mazel's changed, but that the toast fell on the wrong side. And of course, rabbis are very, very important when it comes to the institution of marriage. We all understand that. And I'm sorry to have to tell you about those instances when things are not going so well, but a man comes to the rabbi and says, Rabbi, I want you should know the wife's poisoning me. So the rabbi says, oh, what do you want me to do? He says, Rabbi, see her, talk to her. Ask what they do. So a couple of days later he calls me back, he says, look, Anya, I want you should know, yesterday I spent 4.5 hours with your missus. He says, and I can only give you one piece of advice. You're better off taking the poison. So, my friends, I think all of us would say that we are very, very privileged to be here this evening, that we're very privileged to count Jenny and Henry and all of their family as our friends. We want to thank Veronique and Jonathan for their wonderful hospitality this evening. It really has been superb. And the only thing that we can wish is that we should all be together on many, many more occasions of simchas like this, that we can celebrate with the dearest of our friends, which makes such a great difference in the life of an individual.
Thank you.
We wish them a wonderful holiday in Israel. We think back to 35 years ago when they were married, as you heard, in the Brook Green Shul, and the reception was the Rembrandt. Henry, I don't recall particularly, but one of yours is. But Henry was a slim, young, fresh-faced boy with some hair, and Jenny was as lovely as she still is, and we are thrilled that they've got such a wonderful family, lovely children and gorgeous grandchildren. It's nice that we are all here together to help them celebrate, and we wish them good health for a long time to come. Thank you.
About the tie that I bought him. The tie, and it goes with his sport jacket. Henry. I love it.
when you said, the forces didn't find it. Because, well, I mean, a mortgage with 2.5% on top of it is a lot of money. Even for Helen, I mean,
You don't know what's on.
well, I don't know, but it's a lot of money. But I mean, what you want to make what Helen wants.
No, another one.
Keep tapping it, keep tapping it. Face smile, face smile.
Jenny, smile.
Enough.
Someone's worried about my chin.
I think I like better that.
You see it, Betty?
Is this on sound?
I could be the page, right?